Hello everybody and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League Season 13. With me here is Randy.
I'm here.
And I
Hello.
legitimately forgot to ask Ocelot to show up tonight, so maybe he'll show up in a second set or something, I don't know. Taking a look at Otto versus Baladec, that's Birds Aren't Real versus Epstein Didn't Nerf Himself. It's week 1 of course, so it's going to be pretty hard to tell where everybody's kind of going. It seems like this season is rather disorganized so far as like where everybody's going, what everybody's doing. Haven't been that many scrims. I mean, I know that says a scrim ticket. This is not a scrim, this is actually week 1.
This is an official.
Right. It's going to be a little hard to tell exactly what these picks and bans are going to mean for these teams looking forward. No Tiny, no Necro. Not too surprising. It's just two heroes you're going to see all over the league this season, I think.
Two extremely broken heroes.
No Sand King or Omni Knight either. Probably the same thing there. They're just kind of banning the generic guys right now, I think. That Omni ban might be targeted at good old Bob, potentially, who is standing in for Otto. I do have inside knowledge that good old Bob fella is going to be their 3 this week. But of course, Ogre Magi. First overall pick, as it is the LD2L, that's just what we do. Spirit Breaker first pick on the other team, because this is the LD2L, and that's just what we do, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Following up with a Hoodwink.
Hoodwink, alright.
Two guys you really don't have...
Could be 4.
Yeah, two guys, if you assume that's 3-4, two guys who really don't have much in common, basically. It's kind of,
10 seconds remaining.
not really filling for weaknesses or even stacking strengths. It's kind of two very different worlds with those two heroes. Covering a very broad base with that 3 and 4, assuming that's 3 and 4.
Radiant team ban.
Centaur Warrunner.
Okay. The classic generic 3 you pick when you just want a 3, I guess.
Yep.
Radiant team ban.
With the exception of there being a Lifestealer 1 on the other team, I don't know if there's really, or even Lifestealer 3, I don't know if there's ever really a bad time for Centaur. Pretty much just always going to be alright, I feel like.
Yep.
Downside is that you also have a pretty limited cap on him. I mean, it's like, really 90% of Centaur Warrunner is just standing in people's faces and hitting R at the right time. You got a decent stomp, but it's not even in like the top 20 initiates in the game.
Radiant team ban.
It's not even as good as initiate as your ult is, really.
Yeah, you'll get like a crazy stomp like maybe once every 10 Centaur games.
So
Usually it's just for picks.
while his the opportunity to mess up on him is very limited, the opportunity to get like a lot done is also pretty limited, especially in comparison to, I would say, the next best, the next hero on that list, which would be probably the Pit Lord. I would say is generally just kind of the cooler Centaur right now, at least for my money. Doesn't have that ult though. That ult does mean a lot, but.
Thinking out the rest of the draft here.
Presumably, yeah. In the past, I've called Otto von Bismarck a firm traditionalist Dota player. And he doesn't like it when I say that, but I stand by that.
Dude, you're actually so good.
Thank you. Does make drafting against him a rather interesting process.
Yep.
You generally know, I think, you know, unless we're trying some like really out there strategies on one guy in particular, which is usually the farthest it gets. You know, usually what you're going to get out of an auto draft, you're going to get your guys who are just kind of the hallmarks of their role, right? You're going to get all-rounders. You're going to get established guys. You're going to get established combos. You're going to get Lich.
Lich, alright.
Another sort of poster boy for his station. I think maybe Lich a little better right now than some people give him credit for.
10 seconds remaining.
It just feels like that stun on Lich is so nasty. It's not really a stun, but like the fear into him is very nasty. It is, but for all intentions, a stun.
The disable, yeah.
Of course, that's even before you start talking about his ult. Of course, I will say I do feel like there is almost a bit of questionable play picking the Lich into Rubik here. He's got a lot of stuff Rubik can do to a Lich, I think.
Yeah, it's like if you steal from Lich, pretty much every spell is at least a little desirable for a Rubik.
And he gets some better, too. He gets some better as well. He gets a better Chain Frost. He gets a better Nasty Stun. God help you. I think it's the Ags right... No. Yeah, it's the Ags right now that makes like the stun everybody. Which is not an unrealistic objective for Rubik. God help you if he gets that.
Yeah, it's like 10 plus straight seconds of disable that Rubik can put on you.
Do you like the Rubik pick from the Baladec lineup? I feel like it works really well against both of the guys they had on the lineup. And it works pretty well against the next guy that Otto picked as well.
Dire team pick.
That might complicate
Naga.
things a bit. You know, I believe Ocelot has said this on cast. I know he's said it plenty of times in games, but I just want to reiterate. I really wish, at least, you know, probably before the guy died, anyway. It's probably a little late now. But I really wish they would have had, like, if you stole the Song of the Siren as Rubik, he would sing
That
it
Rubik
really
theme.
bad. Ho ho ho!
would be
Like
funny.
that. Should have done that.
And that just like doesn't do anything because Rubik's too shit of a singer.
That would be funny as well. It would be probably a little overly punishing, though. One interesting thing I notice on the Baladec band lineup is looking at a lot of Invis heroes for some reason. Wonder what the trick there could be. Who doesn't like seeing Invis heroes ever? Besides teams that don't buy detection, I mean.
Yeah, like, I don't know.
Radiant team
Just
back.
don't want to deal with it, I guess.
Man stands ready.
Okay, Mr. 45%.
Yep, Sven, a honored member of the 45% Club. I have noticed that members of the 45% Club have been doing decent in both scrims and games, and LD2L so far this season, so that is
That's
interesting.
true.
5 seconds remaining.
I wonder why they pick it this game. Just BKB through song, maybe?
BKB
Do enough
through
damage to kill
song.
everybody?
Yeah, BKB through song, knock down the illusions with the real Naga. You know, with Sven, it almost doesn't matter what you're hitting. You're still doing full damage to the real Naga. And to a good degree, stand up to what Centaur Warrunners bring to the table. I mean, one thing, it's pretty easy to forget about Sven sometimes. He's a pretty tanky guy.
Especially when he's ulted.
Oh, also, of course, you have the bonus armor from Warcry as well to help with the Naga illusions.
10
Yes.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
It's going to be a bit hard to say if it's going to work out like it does, perhaps, in Sven said. I feel like right now Naga has a like the net through the song thing, right? Net through Magic
Radiant
Community
team back.
is a good solution in cases like this, where you're really looking at a sort of a Sven has to do the job type team. Like Sven has to kill Naga because nobody else can, at least so far. And I feel like being able to net him down during BKB and all
10
that,
seconds
it's
remaining.
gonna hurt his ability to do much.
5 seconds remaining.
Will it stop him outright? Hard to tell. It's definitely gonna give them some ability to
Dire
stop
team
that.
back.
Birds aren't real firmly looking at a mid for the last pick. Not terribly surprising. I do doubt Hoodwink is the mid. Doesn't seem
Yeah,
to be
both
very
teams are
popular.
looking at mids.
10 seconds.
Not only is it not very popular, man, I cannot imagine USDanny picking that. I can imagine USDanny
Yeah.
picking Sniper, but of
I don't
course
think
it's
he's the mid
out.
on this team. I think Baladec is.
I think Baladec's
But
mid,
we'll
eh?
see.
Might be. Might be. I don't actually know. Really,
I think
anything?
I think he picked USDanny as the one.
I don't know basically anything about how the Baladec lineup actually lands, and Windrunner comes out. That's the signature hero for Otto von Bismarck.
An auto hero.
Which
I know
likely,
people were surprised like the day of this game, like oh they let the auto winner through.
10 seconds.
I'm actually not that surprised. It's gonna force him to play mid, which is not his natural
5
role.
seconds remaining.
Unless they're gonna send like Naga mid, which is a bad idea on a lot of levels.
Right.
Made his team comp very awkward to pick that. It's still not great against some of the guys in the lineup. Like, still not too good against Sven.
Imba Spirit.
You may now select your heroes.
Maybe more of a who fires first between Runner and Sven, because like both heroes are likely buying BKB, and if Sven jumps on Windrunner with a stun, she's dead. But if Windrunner gets a good shackle off, Sven's probably dead.
Right.
Especially if Naga Siren's around and farmed. Because Naga can just tear through Sven really easily if he
Dude, you're actually
is,
so good.
you know, gone upon first. It's definitely a
Right.
who fires first type of game.
So long as the war cry isn't up. War cry, one of the skills that really, really gives Windrunner a headache. Very interesting, if nothing else. And it looks like, I believe Giraffe / the Beatus is playing mid for Otto's team, so I believe this is indeed going to be a mid Naga Siren. They've really
Alright.
almost kind of knocked out Naga as a pick this way. Like, I really do not, especially against Ember Spirit, I do not see this going that well for Naga, to be frank with you.
I don't think Naga's going mid. I'm sure they'll run beat a safe lane.
Potentially.
I trust Otto enough as the captain to not grief himself by sending Naga mid.
But it's still sort of a self-grief to, I mean, he's not a bad mid lane, at least I don't think. I've never seen him do it, frankly.
Well, we're about to.
Yeah.
Your name offends me.
But when I think Otto, I just kind of feel like, I don't
Prepare
know.
for battle.
It's almost wrong to see him anywhere but one, you know what I mean? I mean, he's certainly very forceful about the idea of the top MMR being Pazlon, so...
That's true.
MMR is just a number.
That went
Voice
Dude,
swimmingly.
you're
chat
actually
real
so
line.
good. Dude,
Quick,
you're
everybody
actually so
say
good.
all your lines.
Hell yeah. There's nothing that can stop this man from using all of his shout wheel lines.
My patience is rewarded.
Got a smoke coming out.
Yeah, we do.
Looking at Blue Jay
Oh
here.
boy.
Not one of the guys you want to find, though. Blue Jay's smart. He can, a little bit scary, get the hell out of here. Could get a good shot with this as well, potentially. He's trying to bait them into it! Oh, that's
Okay.
good.
30 seconds to battle.
So they don't really get anything for that smoke.
Yep.
Sadly. Probably pressure rune.
Yeah, they do secure the rune, basically completely, but...
Yeah, nah, it's not. Starting to suspect.
What happened the day Sir Action Slack said, oh no, like that?
I don't.
I really want to know the origin of that. What went so
Oh.
wrong?
I'll look it up after the game.
Can't wait.
We'll have a report on that by the second game, maybe.
Absolutely cannot wait. Teams are starting to disperse. That means it's time for our fun roll calls. Alright, so 4 Burbs Aren't Real, playing Pause 1. We've got Giraffe slash Thebetus on Naga Siren. I believe Giraffe slash Thebetus was signed from mid. Just isn't going to be doing it this game. Pause 2, temporarily. Captain of the team, Otto von Bismarck. Pause 3, I believe standing in. Good old Bob. Not sure who Otto's full-time Pause 3 is. Shoutouts to whoever that might be. Pause 4, New Obs on the Ogre Magi. And Pause 5, Bananigans on the Lich. Meanwhile, on Epstein didn't nerf himself? I believe it's nerf himself, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Epstein didn't nerf himself. We've got Pause 1, USDanny, currently on the Sven. Pause 2, captain of the team, Baladec. Pause 3, not on the Ember Spirit. Pause 3, not a 12-year-old boy on the Spirit Breaker here. Made a recommendation at the end of last season to try this not a 12-year-old boy on 3. Glad to see it. This is not our Pause 4. Pause 4, we got Warcarp on the Rubik, and Pause 5, we got Blue Jay on the Hoodwink. I would say I more strongly identify Carp as a 5 and Blue Jay as a 4. So it'd be interesting to see if that that lineup changes as the season goes. Of course, there might be some strategic
around the
reasons.
spot lane.
Yep. We're getting very low there. Still manages to get a snipe deny. And then a tip. Okay. Which gets sent right back in his face.
It was a super aggressive first minute of the game, but everything's kind of iced down now.
Yep. Slowed
Everyone
down
just focusing on farm.
quite considerably.
'Cause, you know, it's what a Sven and an Augur are going to be doing. Not heroes
Right.
particularly known for being aggressive in lane. I guess Sven more than Naga, but
So far, Baladec on the Ember Spirit is taking the lead at mid.
Otto's going to get a free wave here.
Yep.
2 free waves, actually.
Ember is at least going to be given the small camp for his troubles. Still maintaining a lead. Not quite as big anymore, but still maintaining a lead for now.
Denied.
I guess it will be interesting because on one hand, I did say that I don't know if 2 is Otto's strongest position. I don't know if 2 is Baladec's strongest position either, so it's going to be the battle. I mean, there's going to be a lot of these this season, just because of how few mids are in the pool. Got a battle of more out there mids, perhaps.
Yep.
I wouldn't say either of them are just ungodly in the role. I think Baladec is perfectly serviceable, but I would be very hard-pressed to call him much more than that.
Denied.
We'll see.
Spearbreaker run into a little trouble here in the bot lane. The Spearbreaker versus Nagasira matchup does not favor Spearbreaker very heavily.
Yep.
Very likely not a 12-year-old is going to have to take a lot of powders this lane to exist, basically. It's likely going to build more defensive items, and Spearbreaker probably wants to do so. Notably, both Pause 1s are fairly neck and neck for farms. It seems like neither of these off lanes have been that effective at getting in the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Did perk Warcarp up a bit, so that is good. Sending a little danger here. I doubt this. Yeah, no kill on him with Lich not present, but
Getting bullied. He's leveling stats, huh? Is that what you do on Sven?
that's interesting.
Or is he just holding levels? I actually can't tell.
I think he's
I don't know
he's
if
holding
Sven's base
levels.
stats. Okay, he's
Yeah.
holding them.
It's very interesting.
Makes sense. If he like gets forced out of this lane entirely, he can put those into cleave and jungle. But if he puts them into cleave now, he just greases his own lane for no reason.
Right. Yeah, it's a
So
good
he needs to-
solution to the
he needs to
classic
make
Sven
that-
issue.
Make that decision like when it comes, I suppose.
Interesting methodology here. Wonder if that's what the Torta. Oh my god, that courier!
Has been killed.
Centaur forgot about his courier when he was going behind the tower here. Don't believe it had anything on it when it died, but that's just never great practice. Notably, here at mid, the battle between Otto and Baladec still basically just slightly in Baladec's favor for last hits, but notably he is quite handily ahead for XP at the moment.
Yep.
Oh, well, Baladec
Oh,
would have
that's
gotten
sad.
that arc rune if he hadn't have accidentally turned around there.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
He's gonna get a little bullied here.
First real focus flare of the game just comes down right on his head. Doesn't really get anything done though, so it's a stroke of good fortune, nothing else. Everybody at the top lane except Ogre Magi is super dead. I don't know what happened up here, but whatever it wasn't good. Blue Jay,
That was a brawl for the ages.
hoodwink, hoodwink. Oh my god, 20 HP. No, what are you doing?
Alright.
Getting bat pinged by Danny. Oh, that's so sad.
Return first blood.
Getting bat pinged by Danny, that's the best part of that. Oh, I cannot imagine USDanny was happy to see that.
You know it's a good game when Retaliate gets a first blood kill.
Yep. Finn, getting rather hammered here. Oh, this is a good stun
it's
though!
definitely fine now. Okay.
Okay!
Made up for it.
Yeah, if I'm hoodwink, I'm actually not that bothered by that. Like, giving away the first blood, that ain't good. But second blood is Finn killing the 3, that is very good. Especially a 3 you're not really that likely to knock down in lane. So that's a good turnaround at least. If I'm hoodwink, I'm happy with that.
I don't think you would be happy if you were hoodwink.
No, yeah, you're right. If I was hoodwink, I would be pissed off somebody picked me that, but besides that, I would be happy. Another sort of slow point in the game. Notably, Baladec is at this point just kind of walked away from the mid lane here.
Just grabbing these runes up. He'll run him back.
Seems like he's been a little not attentive recently though, because he's starting to droop on the last hits and denies. Perhaps just Windrunner taking more of an advantage as the game goes on. Speaking of Windrunner, gonna take advantage of a moment of absence here. Just go right to talk. Top. Just get rid of this Finn. USDanny is no more. We have an equal opportunity game coming in bot. Agasarin has no ult leveled. So she's in a bad way for this.
That's standard.
Yep. But man, they just don't have the damage for her.
Dire's middle tower is under
They
attack.
really needed Spirit Breaker to be 6 for that to really work, but unfortunately he just has not hit that yet.
Not quite an equal trade. It's a 1 for a 5, but
Yeah. No, that's bad. That's just not good news for the Baladec team.
Dire's
I
middle
think Danny
tower is under attack.
just equalized there because he got super ahead with the kill on Centaur, and now he's back to where it would have been if he didn't get the kill at all.
Right. Which basically means that we've undone the turnaround for First Blood there, so it's still just not good. It's not a good equalize. An equalize into a worse reality. It'll take a minute to calm down. Notably, we'll say this much. In this moment of calm, things are starting to get a little bad for the Dire last hit lies, as all their cores are starting to lower than their opposition. That jungle item was very odd. I'm not really sure what that was about. I don't know whose that was.
Alright. Otto's here again.
Yep.
Radiant structures.
Danny's likely dead, yeah.
Bottom tower
Yep.
is under attack.
Actually pulled 4 up top just to secure that.
Yeah.
We were making charging in, but that's just not a great idea.
Dire's
They want to
middle
put the
tower
thumb down on this man before he starts one-shotting fights, 1v5.
There's definitely a lineup where the only person who's going to be able to stand up to a late game Sven for more than a half a second is just a Centaur. Like everybody else, once that MKB comes out, once he's got both of those bars, everybody else is just going to get eliminated, like, in no time flat. So you definitely have to keep the thumb down on Sven early. If Sven gets too fat, there's just really not a victory path for Otto and his team. Hoodwink's buying a book. Can squirrels read?
Maybe.
Well, if you're Blue Jay, you certainly hope so. It would be funny if you had to be a literate hero to read a book and you had to do something else. Like there were a bunch of XP items, you had to buy the right one thematically for your hero.
Faceless Void can't read books
Yeah.
because he doesn't have eyes.
Did not catch him littering.
Centaur Warrunner of the Vanguard here, just running right under tower, taking no damage at all.
Dire's top
Rolling
tower
right
is
over the
under
squirrel
attack.
here.
This lane has to be seated, I think.
Yep, Hoodwink just
I
has
can't
to...
stand up to it any longer.
Hoodwink just has to go somewhere else, do something a little bit more useful. Sven probably gonna have to farm Triangle for a little while until these guys start popping up on the map elsewhere. Or just deeper in the jungle. Like he is now, in fairness, so he's making the right call here.
He's fine, he can farm sex and get an equal amount that he would get in that lane without the risk of dying, so...
Yep, it's one of the nice things about Sven, one of the nice perks. He's one of the best jungling heroes in the entire game. If he does not have a lane he likes, he can just walk away from it with almost no obligation or loss. The only thing you lose is pressuring the other guy. If it's Centaur Warrunner who's just kind of a blink and more and more HP, I'm not really worried about that. He's gonna get his blink anyway, and he can have infinite money after that, and really his impact doesn't change that much.
Yeah.
Ember accidentally hits creeps instead of the Centaur there. Baladec just taking this opportunity to chase
Dire's
the
middle tower is under
former
attack.
off lane of the jungle up here. Oh, we missed a kill down there at bot. Looks like they
You know, we did.
toast
Oh
Spearbreaker
my
to the tower. Baladec is
Yeah,
here,
it's
but
double damage.
unfortunately, yep.
Why is doing that much?
He is here, he's got double damage, and that's a great setup, but unfortunately the punchline is he has no mana. Not the joke you want to be telling right now.
Arms for the dead.
I guess finished up a diff here, as you can see.
Yep.
Nobody else
Pretty good cover.
really got anything too exciting as far as items go. Sven's gonna be mad, but no surprise there. This is not a trade I think Otto necessarily wants to take. This could get very bad for him very fast.
He's getting charged.
Yep.
Do they go through with this charge?
Yep.
Yeah, they do. Oh, they're... yeah.
Goodbye,
That
Otto.
was sick.
Very good charge under by the Spirit Breaker there. Centaur Warrunner trying to get some heat back on the Ember Spirit there, but they just can't chase him under the tower. Rubik stole Frost Armor somewhere in that mess.
Yeah, he did.
Just another great example, you know, Rubik into the Lich there, like, well, Lich into the Rubik, more accurately. Just not somebody you ever want having those Rubik skills. They're all horrible. Like, the best thing you can possibly get is the Lich Q, the Frost Blast. It's still not great. But, like, if he ever gets your Shield or your Sinister Gaze, or God forbid your ult, you are just not in a great spot. And speaking of your
I
ult,
get-
it was used in that last fight, just to not really any effect, unfortunately.
One of the more low-key game-winning things Rubik can do this game is steal a Bloodlust and give it to Sven during fights.
Right.
May you be
Yep. His copy of Bloodlust would just last for ages. He could also give it to the Ember Spear for similarly good effect. Spearbreaker charging right under the tower here. Brave as a man can legally bleed.
they're
Centaur has to
definitely
ult. Oh no! The Centaur ult gets stolen right after he uses it! Excellent
lifted
Rubik
too.
play.
Alright. Literally FY or what? Yeah,
Unfortunately, equally good play there from both the Windrunner and the Lich. Ends
Yeah.
this team fight in the Radiant's favor. If I was Warcarp, I'd be pissed. It looked so cool and it accomplished nothing. So what happens when you're the early game team, I suppose? I would definitely say this is the early game lineup. I mean, Naga is not going to have fun at any point in the game against Sven and Ember Spirit. I mentioned earlier, Naga has some good Naga has some good tools for dealing with one guy who can kill Naga. Well, too bad, Naga, you got two. You don't have any tools for that, really, aside from hitting R and walking away. Sven and Centaur are just going to trade here, but the presence of the Ogre Magi means Sven must now take the Walk of Shame over to the small camp.
Is under attack.
So to that end, the Otto team is always going to be on the map, I think. They're always certainly going to be great at pushing objectives when they get the space, but I don't think they're going to be able to dive for objectives. I don't think they're going to be able to pull out, like, free T3s and whatnot in this game. They're going to apparently kill Spirit Breaker for free while I'm watching that mid-fight, though. Very aggressive with the Windrunner Lich combo here. They just keep sinister gazing people into the focus fire. It just completely kills them. It's like a shackle without the tree necessarily needing to be there. Ah, Rubik stole the sinister gaze.
Yeah, he did. It's always good.
And now he's got Windrun. Or as we like to call it on the show, Wind Range.
Yeah.
T1 tower here in deny range.
It is.
Seems
it's,
like they're not gonna
Dire's
be
middle
doing that,
tower
at least
is
not with the
under
creeps
attack.
present. Nope, seems like they're just generally not gonna be doing that. Just leaving
Is
the
that if
tower
you be
up.
below 120 or just 120 or below? That's the real question.
Works when it's at the number.
Okay.
Spawning some folks out in the jungle here. It'd be great if they spotted these out before the Ember Spirit dived for it, but I still figure. Good shot, especially if Hoodwink gets a really good shot in there.
Oh, okay.
Windrunner and Lich, who went deep for that, definitely get killed there. And unfortunately, USDanny picks up one of these shots.
Your
It's
name.
not something you want to see against a lineup like this.
I don't know whose name offended Warcarp, but offense
Radiant
has been had.
are fortified.
You know, Warcarp's an easy guy to offend. I mean, he's a fish, right?
Yeah.
So anything anti-fish. Man, Centaur Warrunner
Oh.
probably regretting trying to defend this. Nope,
That's-
not gonna be for long. Fungus Siren comes in, he's out scot-free. They look like they're trying to set up on this. I don't really think well, maybe they can if 3 and under club starts to kind of leave.
Oh, okay. It's kind of crazy.
Oh my god, the great shot on the Centaur there. Spear Breaker going down. Rubik looking real dead. Yep,
Yeah, it's
Rubik
gone.
out.
Okay, successful defense, I suppose.
Yep.
Dire's top tower is under
I think the
attack.
3 and under club there kind of abandoned ship a little quickly. I think if they had stayed together. Funnily enough, if they had still stayed together, it would have been a self-preserving move. Ember Spirit tied to a creep, just loses its entire HP bar.
That's kind of what can happen to you as an Ember if there's a Windrunner in the enemy team. I really don't like the matchup.
Is under attack.
Arms for the
He's
dead.
very good against the Naga Siren, but really no good against anyone else. I'm not really sure what Hoodwink is doing here.
Ugh.
It's not a great spot to be in right now.
They're giving Naga
Spearbreaker.
a lot of farm from this.
Yep, Spearbreaker likely just gonna die just from showing up. And again, somehow even under the Lich ult, one of the Naga illusions got that kill, which is not great. The way
Naga's
you
gonna be trouble.
The way you win this game, if you're the Otto team, is you get Naga a significant enough early advantage that she has a lot of time before Sven finally just gets strong enough to just put her down. Right now they're itching that out very well. 6k lead. Taking good shots every fight they can get. I do think the 3 and under club on the Baladec lineup is putting themselves into danger very frequently. And it is very good on not a 12-year-old boy to be continually basically trying to bail people out of these bad scenarios. But you're putting such a load on our plate whenever you're positioning like this. 5 people going to bot. Actually kind of get a whiff of what's going on here, but it's too late. Sven's super dead.
Oh yeah. Kind of crumbling.
Yep. Right now, they have, like, way too good of a pickup line to do anything about. We do finally deny this T1 tower bot.
Oh, that's a good shackle.
Yep. Good hoodwink shot, but what does it matter? That's doing nothing at this point.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
This game is starting to fall apart for the Baladec lineup really
Yeah.
quickly. It just simply comes down to
They need to
this.
stop the bleeding.
They need to stop being in vision. They keep going into vision. They keep hanging out in vision. You can't do that against a lineup like this. Like, if you're Sven, your presence on that enemy map has to be as minimal as possible. You cannot be pushing at this juncture. You have to be farming. It's as simple as that.
Bottom tower has fallen.
Now you can go down, you can push a tower like this if it's completely free, but like the moment, like you have to see 5 guys on the map, at least 4, to be thinking that.
That's the Frostman.
I think I asked this last season, but I didn't get an answer. Is this a Mega Man 8 reference? Better not be, because Mega Man 8 sucks. That's the official cast line, alright? That's the official stance of the LD2L casting desk. Mega Man 8 sucks. Not a 12-year-old so desperate to get Windrunner down, and it works! Very good play from Spirit Breaker here. Sven just
USDanny
cut
here.
people apart! Naga has to come in and sing. That's the ball game for this fight, but man, great turnaround play for the Baladec lineup. And a great display of what Sven can do to a team like this. Like, it does not matter how tanky the Centaur Warrunner is. Does not matter how tanky, you know, even your Ogre Magi is. It doesn't matter how evasive Windrunner thinks she is. Sven is a simple man. He has a big sword, he hits you with it. And against a lineup like that, boy is that effective. And he just got his BKB, and that is a
Big spike.
yeah, that is a power spike. That's going to have some meaning here. Speaking of power spikes that are going to have some meaning, it does not seem much like, you know, a Solar Crest at this point would have a great effect, but like the Solar Crest attack speed bonus and move speed bonus is really good for Sven.
Yep.
It's a very, very good defensive item. Also decent offensively against the real Naga if you can find out where that is. Doesn't really do anything to Windrunner. The Focus Fire pretty much just negates that. Still not great. The old evasion-themed Solar Crest was better. I like how Solar Crest's name is like a total relic of what it originally did, because it was originally all about blinding enemies, so... Mega Man Smoke. Still, point of the matter is, going to be a decent power spike for Sven between those two things. It is essentially just going to be free attack speed for the guy, and that is something Sven is never going to turn down.
Yep.
Sometimes I wish there was a bit more of like an effect type sound applied to, like, I know what that sounds like. I mean, like more of a flashy magic sounding sound effect on the Ember Spirit. Remnant placement. Up. Bad comm lines there, unfortunately. 9-second BKB goes out to eat basically an entire Lich Hold. Spirit Breaker going in to knock out the Ogre Magi from this equation. Another one of these annoying songs. But man, Lich is actually still looking pretty low.
Fine.
Yep, he is out of there.
Oh, the Rubik song!
The Rubik song!
Oh my god. They have
It's
Naga
pretty
in a
good.
really bad spot if they...
And they did not
Some of the
actually have the
resources,
confidence
bro.
to pursue, yeah. Not with Danny that low.
They had the resources. That was such a good spot that Naga was stuck in.
Yeah. Warcarp is definitely selling himself really well this match. Like, his Rubik play Very top notch. It's actually kind of a shame
Yeah.
Ocelot is missing this. He would have loved it. I should have asked him, dude. I legitimately forgot.
Very sad.
Oh. Hopefully we'll be seeing more Carp Rubik in the coming weeks. Definitely is a power play pick. Definitely a power play pick.
Yep.
Likely gonna see some bans of that one next week, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
See some bands of that these coming weeks. First weeks, you can always tell who does really good, because, you know, that's where the bands come out. Sven is here, but man, he's a lot lower than he probably wants to be to do something here.
Oh, dude. He's getting chain stun.
Yep. You cannot be that aggressive as Sven right now. Spear Breaker with a good pick here.
Yeah, I need to be a bit of luck myself.
It's another good display for, I think, not a 12-year-old boy in this game as well. Just playing the Spear Breaker. Very much how you're intended to do so. Just being very aggressive, taking the risky shots, and just being the wrecking ball that just gives Finn space to either live or get some kills.
Yep.
A lot of damage under.
Scanning.
A lot of damage that this team has done. A lot of thanks to not a 12-year-old and Warcarp. Good 3 and 4 combo, I think. It's a very strong-looking off lane, at least as far as this game is concerned. And it's not against, like, some small potatoes either. I mean, you know, G-Raf / the Beatus, we saw him play Pause 1 to pretty good effect last season. And you've got the Bananigans down here, who I believe has had a stint in LD2L before, has taken some seasons off. So it's not like these guys are chump change either. Had a pretty good display against a pretty good safe lane this match, I think. 4-man smoke up by Otto's team.
Bottom tower is under
And it's
attack.
securing the Roche pit.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Nobody home right now, though, so they're going to get a free Roche out of this.
Yep.
Everybody's starting pushing bot. Bot is where they should almost certainly be staying right now as well. Be very bad juju to try and contest this, I think. Be even worse to contest it too late.
Roshan has
Yep.
fallen to the
Windrunner
There
is
you go.
sick of dying, picks up the Aegis. Tier 1 goes down,
Radiant's bottom tower has
and Outpost getting captured. I did not notice that the Dyer's bought T1 and got down at some point, but there you go.
Yep.
We're about to try and base race here. And I know you're Windrunner, and I know how this is going in your head, but like I promise you don't win that base race. Nope, they're actually not even going to pursue it. They're just going to come right in for this. Like putting up his little spike a little early there.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Fintar and Windrunner are just going to hammer the T2 here,
Are fortified.
while the
Dire's
rest of the
top
boys just kind of funnel in, trying to think about what exactly they're going to be doing about this.
Dire's top tower.
Ultimate answer is nothing. I think that that incident at bot earlier where 5 people TP'd down to try and knock out Sven has kind of put him off pushing to maybe a bit too much of a degree.
Yeah.
You know, turning around and just hitting camps when they were 5 up there is probably not a worthwhile trade, especially when it's very realistic that you just knock out the objective at this point. Still, I guess when you're close to Daedalus as he is, you don't really want to risk that. It is understandable. I do think he is playing this just a bit too safe. And you know, it sounds very redundant, but one of the most dangerous things in Dota.
Dire's middle tower is under
Sounds odd when you say it without context. One of the most dangerous things you can do in playing Dota is play too safely.
Yes.
Give too much space.
Dire are scanning.
Daedalus is coming in for Sven, so he's going to be doing some Mondo damage in very short order. Definitely needs to pick up MKB next, though. Like, he absolutely has to get MKB next.
Right.
If he does, it's definitely going to be just... He's going to be very difficult to kill, in no uncertain terms. Not for being tanky, but for the fact that I don't think anybody is going to be able to kill him before they themselves go down. He's
Yeah.
got a pretty good lineup with his 3 and Under Club, as far as, you know, keeping some distance, keeping people together, and keeping him alive.
For sure.
Dire's middle tower has
You know, you
been
can't
denied.
discount the Ember Spirit and all that as well. In Umbra Spirit, let's just call a spade a spade. What's Umbra Spirit's impact this game been? Not a lot. One team fight fairly early on in the game. He's had a pretty big impact at the bot tower. Aside from that, it's pretty much just been he's been the core that they sacrifice in fights.
Yep.
But certainly, you know, it's Ember Spirit. It's never too late for Ember Spirit. I would say, of the mids that people would consider realistically playing, you know, unless you're doing the pause one as mid business, like you're doing like a Medusa mid or some funny strat like that. Of the mids that you would viably consider playing, I would say Ember Spirit. If he's not the best scaling mid in the game, he's at least second place, and it's a close second.
Right, yeah.
So even though he hasn't had a great impact on the game so far, if he plays carefully, not overcautiously, but certainly carefully, he manages to find himself enough spare money on the map. Definitely, you're so paranoid looking for Rubik in these trees.
Dire's turret has been killed.
He can definitely have a good impact on this game.
Is under attack.
Good Shadow Blade there on the Spirit Breaker, just almost frame perfect. Ember Spirit, I think, just popped that BKB a little early.
Yeah.
Not exactly sure what the.
They're just gonna wait it out now.
Yeah.
Radiant's bottom
Otto going to focus fire that tower. Everybody's a little concerned about going in with the a Lich Fire there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
USDanny just taking the powder, not even here for this.
Oh, they're just gonna let these Rex go, it seems.
Yep.
Oh, what a stun!
Yep, good shackle and good follow through on behalf of the Hoodwink there. Sven's here, baby!
Oh, he's
Sven's here and he's pissed! He just can't hit Windrunner though! Spirit Breaker, it's tried so hard to do something there, he just kept getting chain stunned.
Everyone kind of watching on.
Yep. Ultimately, the final score there is
Radiant's middle tower is
Radiant
under
picks up
attack.
990 gold, Centaur taking the lion's share of it. Got 2 kills, 3 and a 4. 4 buys back. It's pretty good. Or 5 buys back, rather. That's pretty good. Waste of buyback. That's all you got out of your big Aegis push. And Sven is going for that MKB next. That's all you got out of your big MKB push, and it was really close to disaster as well. That is that is like the definition of a Fyric victory, or Fyric victory if you prefer to pronounce it as such. Yes, Danny's not happy about it though. He's gonna scribble all over the jungle. You know that is the definition of a Fyric victory. Like they won that fight. But man, is that not worth the resources invested in it, and is not a great sign at this point in the game. Of course, it is a great sign if the Naga Illusions are just going to get a free T3 here.
Almost
Otto just-
kill Ember. Good god.
No such luck, though. Definitely is. If there's one thing that this Baladec team is definitely lacking, feels like they need better wave clear than they have for this. You know, it's very notable that, you know, often it just feels like all their ways are in bad spots, basically.
Yep.
Ember Spirit with this amount of farm, he ain't enough, baby. He needs more than this to do that
Dire's
job.
bottom tower is under attack.
Naga Siren going to do the right thing, just take it slow. Split up, do all the damage these towers, you know, she can with those illusions. Now here's the thing with Naga, right? Every single hit, every single shot that is made on these T3 towers is just some more HP they're never getting back. There ain't no Treon Protector here or anything. It's been finished his entire MKB already. There ain't no Treon Protector here or anything. It's getting more and more concerning. You got the heart and the Scotty on the Naga Siren. Only one problem. That ain't damage. That ain't damage. There's a lot of things that is. There's a lot of good things that come from having that Scotty and that that harp. That ain't damage, buddy. You're not going to be able to dissuade the Sven very much in these fights, unfortunately.
It will dissuade Ember.
Yep. We have a Satanic coming up on the Windrunner. That might actually mess things up a bit. Problem with Satanic, of course, is that you have to be maintaining those shots, which means, you know, you either have to be focus firing, or you have to be actively fighting, and that's just not two things that are super ideal against the Rogue Knight.
Yep. I've been spamming Naga for a couple weeks, and I can tell you that the number of kills I've gotten, like when I wasn't even looking, just by A-clicking illusions down lane, is depressing. And it almost happened to Ember just a few minutes ago.
Yep. Almost happened to Ember on 2 separate occasions, actually.
Yeah. It's very sad. It's a hard Ember game. I don't know what you do.
If he was able to have a better early game, I think he'd definitely be in a better spot right now. And he definitely still has time to do things if this game goes sufficiently late. But when you just have a Maelstrom and one part of your Ags, I'm not really sure why he's going Ags anyway. He just needs more sort of mid-tier items than this, really. Like, it's not the most unrealistic objective in the world, but man, it's kind of hard to see him actually getting away with that. Bait's out the focus fire there, which is good. Not like focus fire is something that has a super long cooldown, but probably not going to have it when this T3 closes in, so there's something good for that. We do have some damage coming in now on the Nagasara in the form of that butterfly. Unfortunately, the evasion coming off that butterfly is already obsolete even before it gets there. USDanny asking everybody for a bit of team jungling action going on.
Secure this area.
Not a bad plan. Not a bad plan by any stretch of the imagination. If this game goes long enough, Sven is really just going to be basically one man winning it. But it has to go long. Sven did not get his stuff off in time. He gets chain stunned here. And he gets dead!
It's armed. Okay.
Albert came out on the Centaur
So that's
Warrunner
good.
there.
Where's the whole village?
That's super good, actually. The game might be over just from that.
Yeah. USDanny asked the whole team to come in with him there, but unfortunately, he just was not quick on the draw. If he had gotten that BKB off before the chain stuns come in, I'm pretty sure he survives that. Probably doesn't do much, considering that's your halberd reveal, but the very least, I think he lives that. But he just did not get it there in time, and now the rest of his team's just going to kind of eat it, and
they're
I
gonna
think
pile on.
this is the end of time. USDanny calls the GG in the color of his name, and that's it.
There you go.
Alright, what's the analysis out of that? Well, Zayanisha could explode? That was not a team decision! Uh-oh. That's not a good sign.
Oh god, the wins. Can we GG now?
Yeah, that might not have been a team decision, but I think I agree with them on it.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
That went swimmingly, it sure did. So what you want to see from a Naga game, 6k
Right.
above the next highest?
That's it. Alright, so now, formally, what can we say about this game? There are some questions that have come up watching that. There are some answers coming up watching that. Can not a 12-year-old boy exist as a pause 3? Yes. I think it pretty emphatically answered that. Is Carp balling as Rubik? Hell yeah. No argument there. I think anybody who was watching that game would be hard-pressed to argue with that. Beta still got it for pause 1, you got that too. Now they're willing to to swap out like that, that could definitely do well for yourself there. In a situation, I think, where you have a better answer to it than this Baladec Ember Spirit. That is definitely a question that got raised here. You know, Baladec on Ember Spirit, is that LD2L ready yet? My answer, I don't know. I kind of don't think so, to be honest with you. He's got that 5, which means he's, like me, he's a cheapskate and doesn't want to get that Dota Plus. That's fine. So, it's hard to tell exactly where he's going to fall, but I would say, if you were on Dota Plus, I don't know if the number is that much higher. Just did not seem like it was a very comfortable hero for him. Did not seem like it was a great game for him. And you were facing, you know, just saying no on certain terms, probably Otto von Bismarck's absolute #1 comfort hero. You got the Beatus on one of his top comfort heroes. I don't think it's his #1 necessarily, even as a pause 1, but it's certainly up there.
Yeah.
And I have no idea who any of these other guys are, but the Lich performed decently well, I would say. I think that's really the ultimate issue there. I think Baladec was trying to think about counters, was trying to think about, you know, too much about his team, and you have to strike a balance with the mid. It's the ultimate thing about the lane, right? The best pick in the world still has to at least, you know, not only contest in that mid, but contest in that mid game, right? And Baladec was not able to contest in the mid game. You saw it as early as like when he and Bismarck went for ganks at the same time, and Bismarck got the 1 and he got the 5. You know.
Yeah.
It's definitely a question there. I think maybe Baladec needs to take the Ember Spirit back into the shop a little bit, work on that, work on maybe the pick timing for him as well. Also, maybe a little bit of. There's almost a little bit of can USDanny play 1. It is a different world, frankly. Let's not kid ourselves here. It is 2 very different worlds in that 1 and 2 play style. For the most part, he's not playing like it too. But they're the little things. The little things right now, not looking great. Like that, you know, just most notably that last fight where he just doesn't BKB in time, and then he just kind of gets mad, doesn't buy, and tries to call the GG.
Well, yeah.
That's a bit of a question mark on poor Mr. Danny there. But of course, that's just one game. Let's see what happens next time. Right now,